So you join me for the verdict at the end of Bromley's penalty shootout win over Crystal Palace. They take the bonus point. They move to 2 points. Do you know what? I'm not a big fan of that rule. I really think it's stupid, the whole kind of, and now let's have penalty shootouts with a bonus point. But it is what it is. I suspect they do it because it's easy then for the EFL to work out who gets through in the group rather than goal difference and all that. I don't know. But we had to stay there quite long, like we did last season for the Cambridge game. And I guess I'd be intrigued to see what people's views are in it all. I rather would have gone home at the end of the 3-3 than stick around for penalties. But if I hadn't stuck around for penalties, I wouldn't have seen Sam Long send the first penalty to Biggin Hill Airport. So I guess that's a good thing, right? If you haven't seen it, it's one for the highlights reel. Let's hope Bromley put it up as a bit of a joke and a laugh. But that notwithstanding, in terms of the performance, first half 2-2. And do you know what? It's weird because in the first 25 minutes, it was actually a bit of a dull game. Nothing was really happening. No one was really having any shots on goal. And then all of a sudden, it exploded into life. Zach Marsh got the freedom of the penalty area to head Palace into the lead. Who then equalised? Oh, Crowhouse. I think Harry Lee, loose pass out. Crowhouse pounced on it and produced a brilliant dink to chip it back into the net. Then Palace take the lead again. I think it was Nascimento with a strike from 25 yards to beat Sam Long, and then Bromley come back again through Deji to equalise and level up the game just on the stroke of half time. And like I say, it was weird because it wasn't a 4-goal half, but somehow sometimes football's funny, sometimes it transpires like that. And it kind of gave people the feel at half time that is this going to be some kind of end-to-end game, when it didn't feel, how do I explain this? It didn't feel like the two teams were equal, but somehow it was level at half time and somehow there were 4 goals in it. And then the second half, Bromley were dominant. I've just looked at some of the stats before I've even started recording this. Bromley had 62% of the possession. They had 17 shots on goal. Palace had 7. Bromley had 32 touches in Palace's box. Palace had 8 touches in Bromley's box. But at the end of the day, the score said 3-3, right? But I think it does sometimes show how a scoreline can maybe not reflect how the game went. So second half, Bromley were the dominant team. I'm sure they probably should have put the game to bed before Zach Marsh gets the equaliser right at the end. Sam German kind of slips on the ball and Marsh puts it away. Credit to Marsh, by the way, 2 chances, 2 goals. That's what a striker's supposed to do. And then it goes to penalties. Sam Long puts, like I say, sends his penalty to Biggin Hill, but then saves 2 penalties. So it is what it is. So Bromley take the 2 points. The next, I think the next game's in a month or something like that. I can't even remember who we play next. If it's Wimbledon first or if it's I think it might be Wimbledon first. In fact, does anyone even know? Let me check. Josh, who's next? Wimbledon or Stevenage? This is still live, by the way. We're still recording. Stevenage, which means that's the away one. So Stevenage are next, which is the away one. I think secretly Andy will want to try and get through to the next round, but not necessarily because Bromley want to win this competition. I just think it's actually good to have extra games for the young players to develop, and also for the squad players like Brooklyn Ilunga today, who took his chance, took his opportunity. Probably I had him down as the man of the match, and gave Andy a reminder that it's not just Pinnock who can play down that wing, it's not just Idris who can play down that wing, that Ilunga's somebody you can turn to. Because what I like about Brooklyn is he backs himself. He doesn't care who his fullback is. I'm backing myself to try and go past you and sling a ball into the box. And it's ultimately, how many balls did he put into the box today? Well over 10. And eventually a goal comes through it. Nice finish from Marcus Denanga. But ultimately, like I say, great win for Bromley. Great? Nah, that's too strong. Good win for Bromley. 2 points in the Virtue Trophy. And we'll see how we progress in the next round.